Hello and welcome back to With Both Eyes Closed. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is after the whole fishing trip thing, the whole fishing thing, where Issa and Max, and actually Cole, were fishing. Issa and Max were fishing with the rod, and Cole was fishing with his mouth. He was doing it the all-natural way, all-natural. It's kind of funny, you know, he's a bear. He wants to do it how other bears do it in the wild. So as I was saying in the previous video, at least in the outro for the previous video, you got to see a little bit of the, maybe not so much how they're interacting, but a little bit of their personalities and how they are. Cole being a little bit, not overprotective, but a little bit, overbearing, which is, I suppose, the negative side of how he is. Issa being a little bit stubborn, a little bit impulsive, and a little bit sort of self-absorbed. And, well, you'll see a little bit more of Max in this one. What else happens? They're cooking. Cole didn't think to bring salt and pepper. Max went foraging. And yeah. I'm pretty sure some other stuff happened. Issa and Cole are not fighting, so they presumably made up. Thankful, you know, Max was thankful for that. But yeah, the part that I'm actually interested in, well, the part that I'm more interested in is what's gonna be happening, or where you're gonna be seeing literally, like, right when the video begins, or the next part. Anyway, so I guess without further ado, let's continue with both eyes closed. Ooh. So, where'd you hear about this thing anyways? Like a website or something? The cache? It's part of an ARG that this Twitter account has been running. They're not the first people to look for it. The location was actually discovered a few months ago, but I still want to see it. Apparently, there's still a mystery, but no one's been able to figure it out yet. I've tried to avoid spoilers. What's an ARG? ARG, as an alternative reality game. It's basically a bunch of clues that point you around a bunch of different websites or locations until you reach an end goal. Discord servers are pretty common. You haven't read a book or something that has one? Not that I know of. Sounds like a scavenger hunt. You could think of it that way. You wouldn't be inaccurate. How do you know what an ARG is? He nods his head towards Issa. She's leaning against the door, face pressed against the window. It's like common knowledge? Maybe in communities where they're used. I wouldn't imagine there's a beauty guru ARG or something. That's not the only thing I'm into. I meant it as an example. I guess rave culture might work with the whole aesthetic. I probably just heard the term somewhere and held onto it. Right. Anyways, what are we looking for exactly? The hint said that it'd be at the northern end of a bridge. The original riddle was something like follow your compass, look down to look up, so it's probably hanging or taped under something. Seems easy enough. It is sort of strange though, isn't it? An ARG just happens to relate to the forest where Cole's been going for years. And he just happened to find the Twitter account hosting it. And no one's stolen the cache yet. And we had this trip at just the right time. Interesting chain of good luck happening here, I guess. We drive for about 10 minutes until we approach a rundown bridge extending over a river, probably the same one that we've been seeing. Think this is it? I bet he already knows the answer to that. He's just playing around. He parks the van in the middle of the road and we all hop out. Which end of the bridge did you say it was on? Just look around. These usually aren't too hard to find. We start with or probably the most obvious spots, just along the railings, nothing here. Cole checks along the sides of the bridge, the parts that hang over the river. Issa climbs up on the railings and checks a post that sticks up a few meters, higher than any of us could reach. There are rusty steel support beams underneath the bridge, each one a sort of elongated eye shape. If I were hiding something near a bridge... I crouch down and feel around the nearest beams. Sure enough. Clink. Oh, is this it? I pull a small canister out from the underside of the metal support beam. It's a washed out green with rust stains and chips in the paint. Cole made it sound like it's only been here for a few weeks, but it looks like it's been out here for way longer than that. Probably years. Max, I think I found it. What do you mean you think? This looks kinda ancient. It has to have been here for years at least. Let me see. I offer it to Cole and he looks it over. There's a latch at the top that he fiddles with and it flicks open. The casing slides off with a horrible scraping sound. Small clouds of orange dust drizzle down from the edges. 7 rotating metal wheels each display a letter. They're reminiscent of old bike combination locks. It reads, Touchies? Touchies? Just like the outside, the inside is relatively atrophied, albeit slightly less so. Someone clearly tried breaking this open. It's covered in dents and scratches. Above the seam where 2 pieces of metal meet, there's a website address. Just so you know, you can actually go to that website. Sounds low budget. They don't even have a real website. It's a Google website. Anybody can make one. And there's a code here. Do you know what you might want to put in? No idea. I didn't know that there would be a code. I think someone tried solving it before. Well, yeah. That's the whole point. Touches... Touchies... Touch-e... It's touche. I wonder what that could mean. Probably just a guess. Might want to write that down somewhere. Maybe they were close. That's a good idea, actually. I'll put it on my phone. So what do we do with it now? We can't really open it. Should we put it back? Well, do you want to take it with us? What if other people come looking for it? I think it'll be fine if we put it back before we leave. Plus, there's a few things that I'd like to try. What do you think, Max? I'm gonna take it. I guess we can take it. It doesn't seem like people are actively looking for it anymore, so we should be fine. Awesome. Let's head back then. You can carry it. We all hop back into the van. Issa once again takes the front seat. I'll have to start thinking about possible combinations for it. I hope we can get it open before we leave. It's so small though. I wonder what could be inside. Are you dropping us off in the woods on your way back? Actually, before I continue. Dun-dun-dun-dun. I don't believe that there is currently a password available for it. Because, like, there are 7 digits on it. So it has to be a 7-letter word or 7 something, and it's words apparently, I think. I don't think it's numbers. So I'm assuming as the story progresses, eventually it will become available or whatever, and whatever is in this thing will, become available. I don't know, whatever. You know what I mean? Anyways, but yeah. So this is the thing that I am interested in for this story right now. But let's return. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And we're just supposed to walk back to camp? I don't really see the point of that. Well, do you have a better idea? Let's race. Well, at least make it more interesting. Race who? Max? And you? I have to drive the van, so I can't participate. Doesn't matter. I'll still race you. You're crazy. And orienteering isn't about speed. It's about the journey. That's the most interesting part. If you do it right, it should be the shortest part. That's because you're always in a rush, which is also why you're not allowed to drive my car. I've only gotten 1 ticket. I don't know how you've managed that. When I had my permit, I got pulled over at least once a week. You sure it's not because they were looking for an excuse to harass you? Girl, I don't like them either, but in this case, I'm pretty sure it's just because I'm a threat on the road. I'm just a bad driver. I don't know why. I just am. Is it because you're a bottom? Issa! The vehicle swerves before Cole regains his control, but not his composure. He can't seem to decide whether to look at the road or Issa. My own laughter catches me off guard as much as it does Cole. Of all the things for her to say, that's among the last that I expected. What? It's true. Bottoms can't drive. You can't just say that. According to you. Okay, let's take a poll then. Max can't drive and they're a bottom. I'm a bad driver, according to you, and I'm a bottom by technicality. 100% of the bottoms we polled can't drive. This is a severely flawed survey. Well, it seems to be true, so let's run with it. Jesus. He brings his free hand to his forehead, firmly pressing into it. We even have evidence that tops are good drivers. Look at how good of a job you're doing going down the road. The path in front of us is a straight line. Even I could drive this. And I know for a fact that you wouldn't let Max top you. But you wouldn't want that, would you? When did my ears get this hot? I feel like crumbling up like a paper ball. Cole definitely notices. He looks right at me through the rearview mirror. Okay, that's enough. You're getting pushy. Fair enough. You think this is about a mile? Just about. The van slows at a thinning of trees. Looks like it could be a deer trail. Grab the GPS for me. It's in the box with the yellow lid behind you. They step out of the van while I grab it. It's a handheld GPS with rubber grips along the side. Kinda looks like a game controller. Or one of those things that your gym teacher would give you to figure out your body fat percentage. It's heavier than it looks, which makes sense since it's probably more than a decade old. I get out of the van. They're both waiting for me just outside trail. Does it have power? I should have spare batteries if it doesn't. I fidget with what I assume is the power button. It comes to life with a short chime and the battery display shows about 3/4 full. Perfect. Okay, let me show you how it works. He takes the device from me and checks the settings before holding it out and walking forward. There are 4 tones, played lowest to highest when walking north, east, south, and west respectively. It's also displayed on the screen, in case you forgot. He adjusts his directions, looking at the screen until it beeps. Then you just orient yourself so that you're heading in the right direction. Spoiler, it's west. Make sense? Yep, gimme. As soon as she gets her hands on the GPS, she spins around in circles. You have to walk in one direction for it to work. You're gonna fall over. I don't get dizzy, actually. She stops and stumbles slightly, but does maintain her balance. How she manages this in heels, I don't understand. We're gonna walk a few hundred feet in, spin you around, and then you find your way back to the clearing. We'll meet you there. This area is bordered by both the road and the river, so follow either of those if you get really confused. Okay, let's do this. I'm going first. Well, wait a minute. We're going one at a time? Yeah. Otherwise you're just going to follow me. I look to Cole for confirmation. Oh, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's fine. I just wasn't really prepared for that. This area of the woods feels less dense than what we've been around otherwise. Every tree has at least a few meters between each other. It's not all cramped. This is far enough. Close your eyes and spin around a couple of times. She does a fancy spin on her heels with both eyes closed. Hey, they said the name of of the visual novel. I'll never understand how she keeps up her mobility in heels. Okay, you don't have to show off that much. I gotta win in style, you know. I'll see you in about 10 minutes, assuming that I don't get back first. Girl, you're not that fast. Go ahead then. We'll go back to the car once you're out of sight so that you don't get any hints. As if where you're standing doesn't already give it away. See ya. And she's off. I hear the GPS beep twice before she's out of sight. You know, she might actually beat us there. Maybe if she's running. It's like a 5-minute drive, right? That's probably a 20-minute walk. He doesn't say anything. For about a minute, we drive in silence. Hey. You know, I don't actually think what Issa was saying, right? About Bottoms not being able to drive? About not letting you top. If you wanted to. No. I don't want to. I think. The door's always open. Thanks for talking to Issa. I don't know what you said, but you both seem a lot more amicable. Yeah, of course. We weren't on the greatest terms the last time that we talked. This again. And why's that? I mean, I guess we were just edgier then? They both kept saying the most nondescript things, and the more that I hear it, the less true it seems. Is that really the reason? He sighs. We were both going through some rough times, as a whole, and weren't handling it well. It wasn't anything serious. I don't want this to be some big thing. I was angry and frustrated. Issa was too. It was just after my dad died, and I was miserable. She wasn't doing great either. We were both suffering, and we weren't handling it well. That's better, but still. Why stay friends then? I mean, it seems like you guys couldn't stand each other yesterday. We got along fine when we were texting. Most of our conversations were just sending each other random videos or whatever. And, well, think of it this way. When you're fighting with someone, or just in a relationship, it's like you're both holding onto a rubber band. As you lean further away, the tension of the band increases. If you just let go, it snaps at that person and you fall backwards. But if you lean towards a person, you take some of the stress off. At some point, you're both able to let go without falling or the band snapping at either of you. I didn't want to hurt her, and she didn't want to hurt me. By preserving our friendship, we're able to apologize and not leave the other person feeling inadequate. I didn't want Issa to feel like I abandoned her because she did something wrong, you know? It wasn't a one-sided issue. Sounds like rest energy. Rest energy? Pretty much exactly what you just explained. It's an art piece. He's explained this all in such an eloquent way. He's clearly thought about this a lot. The point is, we are both just trying to be better people. And Issa's a pretty awesome person. That she is. As we pull around into the clearing and exit the car, I'm reminded of the mess that we left behind. We should clean up our lunch. I don't want anything to get blown away or whatever. It's not windy enough for us to lose anything here. But you are right. Let's... Bitch, I know I almost beat you here. Issa walks out of the clearing carrying her shoes in one hand. Careful. You're going to step in... the fish guts, which aren't there anymore. She checks below her feet before continuing to walk towards us. Step in what? Please don't tell me that you just pissed here or something. No, I would have peed in the river. That's where I dumped out the fish guts. But I guess one of you threw them further in or something? Cole and Issa exchange glances. I didn't touch them. Something probably came and ate them. It's literally a forest. There are literally wolves out here. There are wolves? Probably. But they're not aggressive. More scared of us than we are of them. Still not exactly reassuring. Dude, they're literally just wild dogs. Just throw rocks at them. Rude. Don't do that. Just ignore them and keep walking. They won't bother us as long as we don't bother them. They're like deer, but sharper. But I still don't like them. Cole hesitates a bit. Do you still want to try finding your way back alone? We could go with you if you like. I think that kind of ruins the point. I'll give it a shot. Maybe a little closer, though. I mean, the odds of actually seeing a wild animal at all are quite low. I haven't even seen a rabbit yet. Timid things. You want to try beating my time? You timed yourself? She takes out her phone and holds it out to me. 8 minutes and 14 seconds. Wow, not bad at all. Nope, I'm not beating that. I'd be lucky to have a time double that. Boring. I wasn't even running and you're starring closer. It might be nice to have a walk alone. You still remember how this works? He hands the GPS to me, still as heavy as before. Its power is a bar lower, but still half full, so nothing to worry about. Girl, it's literally so simple. Dude, it's basically a toy. A yes would have been fine. I close my eyes and start spinning like Issa had. Okay, that's enough. Stop. No, keep going. Spin, Max, spin. I spin around another 2 or 3 times before stopping and stumbling as I open my eyes. There's not that much reason to do this. It only takes a second to find west. Yeah, but seeing people get dizzy and fall over is funny. And you're cute. You were pretty cute when you threw up on that tire swing. He what? I'll tell you about it on the ride back. It's not that interesting of a story. They start leaving, walking towards where I assume we came from. They're already forgotten that they're supposed to wait for me to leave. I'm not looking forward to attempting a U-turn on. He fades out. Time to get orientated. Never. Eat. Soggy. Waffles. That's easy enough. As I begin walking, I get the sense that I'm being followed, but every time that I check, there's nothing. Clearly paranoia. The lack of wildlife kinda creeps me out. It might be nice to see an animal. Maybe not a wolf, but a deer would be cool. Or a wild raccoon. They're kind of freaky, actually. Uncanny valley sort of thing. I wonder how other species feel seeing their evolutionary ancestors in zoos. The forest thins as I continue. Pines mainly, just like before, but there I'm seeing some of what looks to be birch trees. Papery white bark peeling off spiraling trunks. Maybe I could take some and glue it into my notebook. I could turn it into one of those everything scrapbooks. But there's something satisfying about how thick those turns out, full of life. I try tearing some of it off the tree, but it's far more brittle than it appears. It basically disintegrates. Was worth a shot. After some more walking, I realize that I haven't heard the GPS go off in the past few minutes. It feels like I should be almost there by now. I check the screen and it shows that I'm still going in the right direction. According to my phone, it's been nearly 20 minutes. That's really odd, actually. After thinking for a moment, I decide that it's best to reset myself. I close my eyes and spin around a few times. Once I start walking again, I follow what the GPS indicates as west. It seems like the same direction, but it still feels off. What's going on here? Okay, Max, let's focus. What can I hear? Rustling leaves, wind, the river. I hone in on it. Following it should lead me to... Well, you know, it's kind of a mess selling the houses. My dad did it pretty shitty. Sounds like I was right. I made it! Issa's crouching on the ground, resting her phone on her thighs. You were nearly 2 minutes slower than me. Honestly, you really could have made that. I almost ran near the end. I was worried that I was going the wrong way or something. Wait, did you just say 2 minutes? Yeah, your final time was 10 minutes and 4 seconds. From when we started driving, at least. I could have sworn. Not bad a time at all. Well, I guess not. It seems like Issa and Cole finished cleaning and packed everything back into the van. It would be about time to leave, wouldn't it? Between being dropped in the forest and getting back here, that didn't feel like 10 minutes. We have more time than I expected, but it's getting late. You all ready to head back? Fuck yes. We're drinking tonight, yeah? Unless you want to save them for tomorrow. I was kinda hoping to wait for the sky to be clear, but it seems like we're perpetually unlucky. Yeah. It looks like we're going to miss the stars. It's supposed to be cloudy tomorrow too. I was really hoping that it would stay clear tonight. He sounds pretty defeated. I know that was something that he was really looking forward to, partially for my sake. There's always next time. So there's going to be a next time? His excitement is immediate and palpable. I cannot but smile, but I almost regret saying anything since I know his mind is gonna run with this. I mean, if you want to come back? Of course. Maybe during the fall? Let's plan this when we're back home. Gotta keep him in line. Fair enough. We got a six-pack waiting in the car. Let's get back to our spot and bust them open. Sounds like a plan. They're both far more eager to get into the car than I am, though I guess I did just rile up Cole, and we've just promised Issa supervised intoxication. Geez, it really did fog up. The mist from yesterday seems to have crept back in. Maybe that's just how it gets in the evenings? I noticed it a little back at the bridge, but since then it's really thickened. Cole's finishing packing up a few stray boxes. It seems like when they packed everything back in, they didn't do it as neatly as they had the first time. A few boxes stick out of place, bulging against the trunk that Cole is trying to figure out how to shut. Hey, can I have the picture from earlier? Picture? Oh, yeah, of course. I dig around in my pocket. I only feel a few mushrooms. Maybe it was the other one? Nope. Are you sure you gave it to me? I don't have it. Bitch, I'm positive you had it. Okay, but, I don't have it. She sighs and starts picking at her nails. Whatever, dude. We really should have taken another picture on my phone or something. Well, that's what I suggested. Yeah, and you lost the picture. Not my fault. Should have expected that. You are a Taurus. Yeah, I'm not interested in engaging with her crummy attitude right now. It's just a picture. Is it really that big of a deal? Cole slides into the driver's seat, shutting the door as he buckles himself in. Aren't you a Taurus? I'm a Leo sun, Taurus moon. Not the same thing. Okay. Explain the difference then? As he accelerates to roll over a bump, between the now familiar sound of clinking plastic from the boxes behind us, I can make out the rattle of Issa's mess slipping between the car seats. Taurus suns are like consistent slots. Taurus moons are all about luxury. That does check out. How about Cancers? We're all about being comfortable, right? Don't tell me you actually believe this shit. Not really. But I do think it's fun to just play with, like, Ouija boards. Bitch, you've been playing with Ouija boards? I mean, sure, why not? I don't really... Stop. You're just asking to die a horrible young death. Jesus, that's grim. Cole lets up on the gas for a moment and the car slows down. Issa coughs and he accelerates, sending much of Issa's mass back between the car seats. You've got to stop doing that. Anyways, Cancers. They're like moms, basically. Maternal energy and whatnot. Lots of intuition. They tend to cry a lot. I'm pretty sure I've seen Cole tear up at those wine ads with the sad dogs, but they're pretty good at hiding it. Motherly energy. I feel him glance at me, and I make an effort to glance back, but I'm too busy trying to pick up the brushes, coins, and whatever else that just fell between the seats. One of those fat blush brushes, a wrapped tampon, a cigarette bud. At least she's not littering again. Yeah, I can see that. Sort of overbearing, always planning ahead, things of that nature. I pinch something thin and sharp. Cardstock? Between my fingers. The card. The tower. It's new, but the corner is now blunt and folded inwards. You brought tarot cards? Why are you going through my stuff? She pivots around in her seat to investigate, her seatbelt clicking in protest as it runs out of length. I'm not. A bunch of your stuff just fell between the seats. I've just been taking it out. You kind of left it all out laying here. Yeah, okay, whatever. Ooh, can you give us a reading? It's been so long since I've gotten one. I always get that ASMR feeling when people do them. Dude, they're random. Anything they predict is purposefully vague so you can apply them to anything. Yeah, I know. I just think they're fun. What made you such a stick in the mud? I don't know. Probably the way that things like this are used to exploit vulnerable people trying to find closure with dead loved ones. It's probably one of the biggest forms of blatant exploitation in the modern West. It's fucking unethical. Okay, but we're not contacting a dead person. So like, what's the issue? It's the principle. Yeah, but... Max, if you don't want to participate in this, Then we won't. Isa's scowling at him again, like yesterday. As much as I'm against this, maybe it's best to try and keep the peace. I think back to what Cole said earlier about the rubber band thing. No, it's fine. If you want to do it, then go ahead. You sure? They literally just said that they were sure. He keeps staring at me through the mirror. Yeah, I'm sure. Beneath the sound of a hollow music from the car speakers, silence begins pulling into the car. What kind of beer did you get? The one that was closest to the cashier? Oh my god, they're not gonna ID you just because you took longer to pick out your drink. Yeah, I know. I'm still nervous though. What's the worst that can happen? You'll be 21 in like a few weeks, right? It's not like they're gonna call you or... Maybe I don't need to be drunk right now. Yeah, but then they'll see your short ass and think that he's buying alcohol for minors. I don't look that young. Sure, but you do look like you're not 20 either. More in the 17, 19 range, I'd say. There's barely a difference. That's legal drinking age in Canada. You know that. I've literally heard you say that one of the reasons that you transferred to Quebec was because the drinking age was 18. Oh, trust me, it was. Clearly not as versed in drinking as y'all, but I'm pretty sure it was something cream-flavored. I know you're not a huge fan of alcohol bitterness. He sucks in a breath. But I don't want either of you to be mice girl drunk off Pink Whitney. Oh please, you're the lightweight here. Don't even start with that. The tire swing incident is proof of that. I'm not a lightweight. I just get dizzy easily. Now I'm trying to get him to look at me through the mirror. The insides of his ears are glowing. Oh sure, that, to be fair, we were pushing its limits. If you didn't barf, we probably would have brought the tree down. That would have been much worse. I still don't forgive you for vomiting on me though. Ruined one of my favorite sweaters. Luckily it wasn't this one. I stretched my sweater out in front of me, checking the worn but still intact markings on the front. Yeah, I'm still really sorry about that. It'd be fine after a wash. Yeah, but I'd never be able to wear it without thinking about it. We slow down. We're already at the campsite again. I hadn't realized that we were this close. My sense of time still feels messed up. The drinks have been sitting in the cooler, by the way, so they'll be cold. I'm in with the crisp breeze when I open my door. I'm fairly used to it, but it catches me off guard with just how cold it's gotten. Whoa, we don't even need the cooler for these to be cold. Yup. Let's go to the tent between the temperature and the wind. Yeah. Isa, can you grab the beer? Again, in the cooler, right at the front. While she's doing that, I'll clean up the inside of the tent. Not that there's much to actually move. Aside from pushing the sleeping bag to one wall, the tent is empty. Some of my loose fur is scattered on the floor. I can't believe Cole fits in here. Cole squeezes in, zipping the door behind him. I can barely believe it either. Barely. It never gets old, does it? I've been thinking about that joke since before I knew you. Isa's holding a bottle in her lap, wedging her keys under the bottle cap to force it open. It's a generic brand, literally labeled Cream Vanilla Ale. The cap flies off and she spills off a little of the drink on herself, but the bottle remains in one piece, which is the main concern. Cole crawls over and grabs 2 of the remaining 5 in the 6-pack, holding them out by the neck between his fingers. Can you do the arm thing? He just smirks at me as he pushes the bottle into his forearm. He quickly twists and the cap pops right off. Thank you. I take the bottle from him. I really hope this is tolerable. It's bitter. Not nearly as bad as Hennessy or vodka, but clearly potent. The vanilla is almost impossible to taste, hidden beneath the layers of cream and a bit of a fruity flavor. It's not terrible. I don't like it. That's how I feel about most alcohol. You drink it for the effects, not the flavor. You like it? It's alright. Isa has already finished a bottle and is opening her second. Okay, you need to slow down. I know how much I can handle. It's fine. If you say so. Guessing based on our tolerances, I'll probably drink 2, Issa will have 3, and Cole will have 1. This is, of course, assuming that we're divvying up drinks to get everyone equally intoxicated, which seems fair to me. It does seem to have a higher alcohol content than I expected. It looks like something light based on the packaging, but the flavor suggests otherwise. Give me a minute to prepare the deck, and then we can start the reading. She pours the cards out from a sleeve and into her paw, where she then begins cutting and shuffling the deck. Are you just doing a regular reading or another kind? Yep, California Tarot at this time. I've heard of this before. It's a modified form of tarot. It's a version that was created to sell, basically. How's this different from regular tarot readings? It's not super different. Cards just kind of have different meanings. It's a little complicated to explain. It'll ruin the magic. Yeah, definitely far from legitimate. Who wants to go first? Neither Cole nor I volunteer. We're both looking between each other and Issa. Max? You heard me in the car. All right, Cole's first then. Issa folds the deck and a few more cards, and I can see the unbent cards catching at the dented corner of the card I pulled from between the seats. She fans the cards out with both of her hands, holding them out to Cole. Pick 3. He carefully picks 1 from the left, 1 from the middle, and 1 from the right. She takes these cards and lays them face down in a row on the floor. Pick 3 more. What were the first 3 for then? You'll see. Cole pulls 3 more cards, this time all at once, and all from the middle. She takes them and puts the rest of the cards aside. The first 3 cards you picked are influenced by spirits. They give you readings that aren't accurate and try to steer you down the wrong path. You're also feeling pressure to pick the right cards. You aren't going with the flow, you know? That sounds like bullshit. This time, she lays them out face up. The Chariot. The Hermit. The World. Aw, look, the World. That's like one of the romantic ones, isn't it? He nudges me. Maybe. It's also not necessarily a good thing. Oh, what does it mean then? We're getting to that. Let's start at the beginning. Issa lifts one of the face-down cards up to her. Didn't you just say that the point of those cards was to discard them? These cards show the influence of other powers. I need to know how they're trying to influence you to fully understand your situation. What does it say? I can't tell you that. Anyways, the Chariot, it's upright. You're going to utilize your power. You're going to use your power against others. Seems like it has a relation with protecting others. Well, you've got nothing to worry about. He nudges me again. You're missing the fact that this implies that I'll be in danger in the first place. That is pretty spooky. That's just Cali Tarot. Strictly positive readings aren't super common. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what to expect so that you know how to deal with it. So they're as broad as possible to cast the biggest net? Moving on. The Hermit. It's upside down and you pulled it second. This represents isolation. I think it's isolation that is out of your control too. Negative powers want you alone. She flips the cards up at her like before. The World. She lifts the last card. It's also upside down. Well, that's as clear as day. You'll help someone else at your own expense. Or theirs. Either way, you already do that at an annoying degree, so it's basically bound to happen eventually. That's the whole problem with this shit though. It's so vague. Everything it predicts could apply to anything. I hate to say it again, but that's very Taurus of you to say. Come on, it's just for fun. I don't really believe any of this. You should. Just wait. You'll see. Yeah, alright. Well, if you don't want a reading, I'll do my own. Issa picks out her cards just like Cole did, albeit much faster. She clearly knows what she's doing. The Wheel of Fortune, the Moon, and the Emperor. Ooh, interesting. I don't think that I've gotten anything quite like this before. What does... I'm getting to it. She pauses and examines each face-down card. So we can't look at the cards, but you can? Yep, because I'm trained in the art of tarot. I pass my deck through the elements' power of divination. The Wheel of Fortune, and it's reversed. It appears to mean a risk I take is going to pan out poorly. Seems like the risk is going to be something trivial. It won't be obvious. The moon means that I'm going to shed light on an area of darkness. The affected card isn't going to give me clues, so that could mean anything. The Emperor means that I'm going to put myself first, above others. I could have predicted that. That felt a bit pointed. Issa clears her throat. Well, unless you change your mind, we're done with this. Unless you also wanted a palm reading. Absolutely not. Yes, please. I don't pay much attention to their palm reading, focusing instead on finishing my first and second bottle. The more I drink, the more I am able to tolerate it. This feels stronger than usual. Maybe it's just been a while since I last drank, or I'm just exhausted. I don't notice when Issa leaves, or that Cole goes to throw out the bottles until he comes back into the tent. Max? Yeah? You sleeping? Not yet. You want to talk? He pushes his way into the sleeping bag with me. When did I even get in here? What about? You know, I like you a lot, right? What? Yeah, of course. Why? I'm just making sure. You're weird. I know. Sorry, You what? I honestly forgot. I'm just kind of tired right now. He settles into the ground, almost like he was expecting to get up before. He's just sort of looking at me. I feel like he's waiting for something. Do you want me to... You know... Right now? Ha! No, you're drunk. I'm not that drunk. You're drunk enough, and I don't trust your coordination. You already struggle sober. I'm not that bad. I was bleeding the last time. He chuckles through his words. You barely nicked me. Sharp teeth. It happens. You're new to this. I get it. We both stir in the silence while it lasts. I'm really hoping Cole doesn't, but... I like how you look. You don't have to be embarrassed about it. I know, I want to reciprocate. I didn't ask you to. That was a bit louder than I intended. I'm just figuring it out, okay? I know. I just want to understand. Is it a non-binary thing or an autism thing? Am I doing something wrong? Of course not. I really appreciate how patient you've been. I just don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm worried about you. Sometimes I get the feeling that this is a deeper issue. Cole, I promise you that it isn't. I'm just weird like this. You're not weird. I know. I'm back in Montreal, in my childhood home, my parents' apartment. I'm in a quaint, worn room filled with evidence of childhood. My and my brother's beds sit next to each other, with their similarly shaded lime and teal comforters. There is a lump under my covers. My brother's bed is empty. The only light in the room comes from the small crack under the bedroom door. I look out the window, expecting to see the familiar alleyway and concrete wall of the apartment building next to ours, but instead it's almost pitch black. If I really squint, I can make out what appears to be thin lining of poles? Trees? No, not trees, but something long that sprouts from the ground, like fingers reaching towards the sky. Next to the window is a picture frame hanging on the wall. It has a photo of our family. I look a few years younger. I don't remember this picture ever being taken. Several loud voices are talking right outside the room. Their words are distant yet somewhat muffled. I'm having difficulty processing their meanings. It feels like my brain is in a fog. It's warm, uncomfortably so. I look back at my bed. The covers are off and I'm sitting up, looking right at myself. A memory. The last time is now viewable through the main menu. The last time refers to the last time that they did stuff. Unfortunately, I can't read that for YouTube. So, read later. And that's where it ends. Basically right at 2 hours. Like I said, I'm excited about the geocache thing. I like passwords in visual novels and stuff like that. Cryptid. Uh, I do. I am curious about what happened in the forest when, um, when Max was left alone to, find his way back. Because this story, if I remember correctly, is supposed to have some sort of spooky elements to it. So it kind of seems like he was, as far as he was concerned, he was taking longer to find his way out or back, I guess. But they were saying like, no, it wasn't that much time. Like he was basically almost as fast as Issa was, which, I mean, considering Max, it's probably not true. I mean, he probably walks and she probably like does the gay walk where we look like we need to go somewhere. But she's straight, she's a woman. She doesn't have the gay walk, she just is naturally fast. Anyways, but what I mean is that perhaps there is something weird going on in the forest. Also would like to know what's up with the bear and this geocache too, like him wanting to find it. It's been here this entire time. Or what if the geocache isn't even what they found? What if it was something else and they automatically assumed it was that because it's like, well, this is the first thing that we found. Because it appears to have been older than what it was supposed to be. Also, I'm wondering, again, about the geocache, wondering if it's about its website, because it links you to a website where it's the creators of the item within the universe of, with both eyes closed. And they're no longer operational, and the website itself seems pretty bare bones right now. But I'm wondering if this visual novel itself is supposed to be like an ARG, where as the story progresses, more and more bits of it are revealed. And there is a YouTuber that I watch called Gab Smolders, and she has done some games similar to what I feel that this is trying to do, where, oh yeah, one of them. Right now she's doing one where it's about the Blair Witch. It's sort of tied into like the most recent Blair Witch game, but it's like a series of pieces of the story that you get, like, I think monthly or weekly. And she's doing it on stream for Twitch, but she's also doing it on YouTube. And you solve each one of the boxes, and it begins to open up more and more about the story. But one of the mechanics of the thing that she's doing is similar to what I feel what this is gonna do, where you're gonna be provided with more clues that are gonna unlock more things within the story. Like maybe the geocache, maybe something else is gonna pop up that we're gonna need more clues to unlock, and that's gonna unlock more of whatever it is that's going on. That would be kind of cool, I think, in my head. If that's what happens. If not, then I don't know. What else? That's right now what I think is gonna happen, because again, I believe that there was supposed to be something spooky related with the story, and the forest and the geocache kind of seems to be one of the things that pops into my mind that might be related to that. It's in the gallery. I'm also curious about the whole tarot reading. It seems that because again, wow, I forgot the bear's name already. That he is kind of a little bit overbearing, a little overprotective, a little like, oh, I need to make sure that I'm doing everything possible to keep my partner happy and whatever. Like, that in itself is like nice, but also sometimes can get a little overbearing and a little like one-sided, I guess, in a relationship where you could become too accustomed to it, or it's like the other person's not even attempting to at least be a little bit accommodating for you in return. But again, about the bear's reading, perhaps that will have something to do with the story as it progresses, where maybe whatever it is that's happening or has to happen, it's something that Max has to deal with, perhaps? Or maybe it's something that's revolving around Max. And the bear tries his hardest to try to protect Max, but that actually makes it worse, perhaps? And then there's Issa's reading, where I believe it's something about her putting herself before everyone else, and she is kind of competitive. She is kind of the person to push buttons, and stuff like that. So maybe something about what her reading said is gonna influence the story. I don't know. We'll see. What else? Well, what are your thoughts? You tell me. Write it down in the description, and thank you all for the description. Write it down in the comments. And thank you all for watching/listening. If you would like to play with both eyes closed, you can do so by going down into the link in the description, where you will find a direct link for the HIO page where you can download it and play it, or you can just go to HIO and download it, from there. And they do have a Patreon, as you can see right here underneath the Twitter logo, because I refuse to call it the other one, which, should give you early access to builds with both eyes closed. Perhaps the next build will actually have some hints for the geocache. I'm fairly certain that you probably can't open it yet, but it would be interesting if somebody did find a way to open it. And another thing, Issa mentioned Discord. They do have a Discord, as you can see right here. So I'm wondering if that means that in order to solve the geocache and all those other mysteries, that we're gonna have to join their Discord channel and apply hints and things that are there into the game. Which, I mean, I don't wanna, but I guess. Anyway, so yeah. I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next videos. Bye-bye.